Hello guys, Craig Frost here and welcome back to another JuicyTuts tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how you can create your own custom decal for your cars inside Rocket League. Now I've done a tutorial before showing you how to install decals into Rocket League, so make sure you watch that video first. It will appear in the top corner as a card now in the top right corner, but if not, I'll put a link for it in the description as well. Make sure you watch that first because I describe a lot of stuff there that I will just brush over in this tutorial. But basically what you need to begin with is umod and obviously Rocket League, but umod and then go to main, use global hook, then add game and add your Rocket League game from your Steam Apps, Common, Rocket League binaries, Win32, and then add the game there. I've already done it. And then what you want to do is get a program like GIMP or Paint.net. They're both free, or basically you need anything that you can edit DDS files in. So here's Paint.net. I personally prefer to use Photoshop with a DDS plugin. GIMP, you need a DDS plugin as well. Paint.net is free, so I'm going to use that, and it's the easiest just because it already supports DDS files straight out of the box. Anyway, so we've got that installed and running. Once you've got that, you can minimize it and just open up Rocket League. So we'll open up Rocket League, we'll see a new tab on umod just like in my other video appear, and that is perfect because this is where we're now going to capture the textures that we're eventually going to replace. So I'll just skip through the title screen. Now what you want to do inside Rocket League is select the car that you want to customize. So I'm going to select the Breakout and make sure there is no decal installed. Make sure you turn it to none. Okay, and then we can just sit in the garage is fine. Right, I'll just move that out of the way so I can keep it running. And then what you need to do is on this capture textures button in umod, tick save single texture and show message in the upper left corner. Okay, this will bring up a message in the upper left corner of Rocket League just here. Now for shortcuts, we're going to cycle through the different textures until we find the ones we want so we can save them and later on replace them. So as a back button, I'm going to use numpad 1. As a save button, I'm going to use numpad 2. And as a next texture button, I'm going to use numpad 3. Now on my desktop, I've also created a decals folder, which is just empty, but I suggest that you do that as well. And then in the save directory, select the folder. You can save it wherever you want. The desktop is just easier for me. So we got that, and then we'll right click and update. And then we notice in Rocket League in the top corner here, we have normal texture, nothing selected, and at the moment we've got one of 897 textures to cycle through. So what we're looking for is we're going to hold down 3 or 1 on the numpad, which is what we set to cycle through. As we hold it down, we'll see that the screen starts flickering. And you'll see in the top corner it's going through the hundreds really quickly because we're cycling through loads of textures. What we're looking for is the car to flash white, which it just did, so I'll go back to that. But we want the car to flash white without anything in the windows, so white but with black windows. So this isn't quite the texture we're looking for. So I'm going to hold it down again until I see that white flash. It shouldn't take too long if you hold the button down. If you tap it one by one, it will take absolutely forever. But just keep your eyes peeled. It might take you a couple of times through to find it. There's a few glitches there. Oh, I just saw it. This is the texture we want. So then I'm going to press numpad 2 and it should save it into our decals folder on our desktop. And the next texture you're looking for is when the windows are green, which for me, I just saw it. There it is. Right, I saw it. So I'll press number 2 and that'll save that texture. Then we can open up umod, untick these 2 boxes, right click and update, and it'll go back to normal, and we can just put this to one side. Now in this decals folder we have 2 textures now. You might have an extra texture, sometimes it saves a random texture, but these are the 2 we're after. One is blank and one has the layout of our car. So if I now open up Paint.net and drag one of these in, we'll drag the black one first, but it's not black, it's actually transparent. So what we do want to do is fill this with black. So make sure you get the paint bucket and select pure black and fill that. that will block the team color of the car showing through. So it will just take the blue color off, because that will allow us to put our own one on top. So now we go to File, Save As, make sure it's a DDS texture with exactly the same name as before. So we'll replace that and click OK. And then if we minimize this, I'll show you exactly what it's done. So if we now drag this one texture into UMod, it's now totally removed any colorization. So even if I switch to the other team, the car is exactly the same color. So now anything we do on the other texture will show up. So we'll just remove that again, just to keep it all back to normal. So we'll now go to the other texture. So if I open up paint.net, we can close this one and drag in the second texture. Now this has the layout of the car, so you can see each of the panels and where you're working. So if I just add an extra layer behind it and fill that with black as well and drag it behind, just so you can see it, we'll turn that off before we save it. You can see it a bit better now. So what we want to do now is just start customizing this car. So I'll add a new layer. We'll get a paintbrush, and you can spend loads of time on this. I'm going to do it super quick. I'm going to get a brush, and I'm just going to paint some, we've got a bright pink, and I'm going to have a pink bonnet on this car, just like this. Just get some of the bumper down there as well. It may take some time to work out which part of the car is which when you do this, but some trial and error is probably needed to get it exactly right for your texture. So that'll do for me. So we've got a pink bonnet. The rest of the car, I don't know, let's put a gradient layer in. So if I pick the gradient tool, and I'll put my primary color as this turquoise and my secondary color as this green color, and I'll just draw a gradient over the entire texture. We'll then drag the bonnet to the top like this, and I'll also drag this overlay to the top so we can just see where we're working. But if I turn the transparency down on that, we can see where we are. Okay, now I might want to put my logo on the bonnet. So I've got a logo. We'll drag that into paint.net. I've got it on my other screen. I just dragged it in. So we will just resize this so it's a bit smaller. Copy and add a new layer and paste it in. And I'll rotate it. I'm just doing this really quickly so you guys get the idea, but you can spend hours on this and get really great decals. So I'll put that on the bonnet. Now you can barely see it, so what I might just do is give it a levels adjustment and make it completely white. Perfect. Okay, so that's great. Now on the roof, which is this panel just here, I know that because it looks like the roof. You can take your time to work out exactly what's what. I might put my face on there, so if I just drag in a picture of me, add this as a layer, just put that right over the roof. Oh yeah, that's brilliant. Just like that. Nice. And finally, we want to cut out the windows. Now this section here is the front window, and this here is the side windows. So on the background layer, which is this gradient, that's the one that's covering it up, we want to just make a selection around that. It doesn't have to be completely exact, and just press, oh, I was working on the wrong layer. We need to be on the gradient layer, and then just press delete, and it will delete the color from that so that the black can show through for the windows. Otherwise we'll have colored windows. So then just turn off the layers we don't need, which is the black background layer and the template. And now we can just save this file as a DDS, make sure it's got the same name as the template file, replace that, click OK, it'll flatten the image, but then if you just press Ctrl Z to edit undo, and it'll bring all the layers back after you've saved it, just so you can work on it again in future. So we've got our two textures here now, so now if I just select both of them, drag it into UMod, and our car is looking beautiful. Oh yeah, oh my god, that is weird, having my face on the top of the car. But there you go, that is how you can make your own decals with full color range inside Rocket League, and this will not change depending on the color of your car, it will stay exactly the same no matter what side you're on. That may be confusing for you, but you'll get used to it. One thing to bear in mind is, just like my other tutorial, other people online will not be able to see this. It's just for you and anyone else that has the same texture installed. But look at this, it looks amazing. Oh, that bloom is really making my car bright, but it looks great. Well, there you go guys, I hope you found this useful. I tried to rush through it as quickly as possible, but you can slow the video down in places. Remember to watch my other tutorial as well to get you in with UMod and using these textures. And leave a like if you liked the video, subscribe if you want to see more like these, and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye!